Guys, so we are about to step into our minority report, getting into in tune with the 12 laws of the universe. We will be discussing Albert Einstein and what he was trying to convey, tell us, and what is his point of view of the theory of relativity. So I have my handy dandy report for you guys, and we're going to read from that report and see what you guys feel, think, and if you can understand what this theory means for you in your life. All right, so the law of relativity is E equals mc squared. The law of relativity, E equals mc squared, is an equation that was formulated by German-born physicist Albert Einstein. The theory of spiritual, I did not mean to say spiritual, the theory of special relativity that expresses the fact that mass and energy are the same physical entity and can be changed into each other. And evidently, for me to say spiritual, it must mean that it is a very spiritual approach that we're talking about. So nothing is never a mistake, but needs to be said. And that's why it was said. Let's continue. Relativity is a theorem formulated by Albert Einstein, which states that space and time are relative and all motion must be relative to a frame of reference. It is a notion that states laws of physics are the same everywhere. So I'm just going to break it down to you and give you my point of view on what I think what this is talking about. Say, for instance, if it's two different beings, and this is you, right? And with you being you, we age rapidly in this one stagnant energy that we're in, right? That we're not moving, we're stationary, we're not in light speed energy, right? But if we was to get in a spaceship, right, and travel light speed, we would actually be slowing down our age of progression, if that make any sense. We didn't per se change, but the galactic energy of mass has changed, if that make any sense. The density of the electronics in our body, electronic field, right? The auric field, the physics of our being has changed, but not for more say of our characteristic, not more so of our characteristics, but the intergalacticness electrodes that's in our body. I hope that makes sense to you guys, is relative to the pinpoint to where we was left off from the other being on earth. So again, the characteristics didn't change, but the energy field changed. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, and it's relative only for the characteristic part is what I'm picking up. It's the characteristic part of the time continuum that is relative to us being in two different locations, being at the same locations, but at two different times, if that makes sense. All right. So y'all let me know if you guys understand that. So let's continue. Example, and I just gave that example. I'm going to say it again right here, though, because I have it in my report. Example, say, for instance, you have the same being. Now, being one is left at the specific pinpoint location. Now, this location does not contribute to the speed of light. It is a stagnant energy that progresses to age over time. This is where old age comes into play. Now, let's take that same being, put the being in a spaceship and at light speed, let the being spend time in space, bring the being back down to the starting point of where it was left. you would notice significant change around you. You would notice how civilization has had a tremendous physical change, and you, my dear friend, have had little to no change, which means aging is a very slow approach when it comes to living beyond the globe. If you leave Earth at the age of 15 in a spaceship at the speed of light, you spend 5 years in space. Example, when you get back on Earth, you will be 20 years old, and your friends who were 15 when you left would be 65. At a rate of 99.99999% of the speed of light for a year, more than 200 years would pass on Earth. The point is, the point is, the closer you get to the speed of light, the more time dilation is experienced achieving those speeds. This is what we call folding time. What is time dilation? Before we move on, as you can see, there's a continuum energy. There is, we are all the same. It's just we are at different points and different frequencies and vibrations when we travel the universe. Okay. This makes sense when it comes to the spiritual world, how they can be in one place and in another. Okay. This is how, and this is what makes sense when we travel throughout our dreams. Okay. For my spiritual folks, I completely understand what it means when it comes to astral projection. This is another form of astral projection for my spiritual community. So let's continue with this message. If you believe in those type of things, if you feel those type of things, if you have experienced those type of things, this is what the theory of relativity is and what it represents. We can be at more than one place at one time. Okay, guys, let's continue. All right. Time dilation. What is time dilation? Time dilation is the difference in elapsed time as measured by two clocks, either due to a relative velocity between them, special relativity, or a difference in gravitational potential between their two locations. So when we have gravity that's holding us down, we age with gravity. We are stagnant with gravity. Gravity does not let us be freely, or don't let our energies be freely to be able to travel in these light speeds. We have to be in a particular shield, okay, which is a spaceship. We'll get into that later, though. Let's continue. When unspecified time dilation, let's go back. I'm sorry. Time dilation is the difference in elapsed times as measured by two clocks, either due to relative velocity between them, special relativity, or a difference in gravitational potential between their locations, which is general relativity. When unspecified, time dilation usually refers to the effect due to velocity. So guys, this is your first 12 laws of the universe that we have tapped into, and we will uncover what each and every law means to us in our life. And I want to break it down a little bit more with the law of relativity. In relativeness, we are conducively at the same place at the same time. It's just we may be aging at a different moment, or we may be, it's not even aging, it's the fact that we can transcend the point, the being of time. We can still be in our same character in one place, and then in another place we could be like aged, and things can change physically that's around us, if that makes sense. And it all has something to do with the physiology within our bodies, and with the space continuing energetic light speed energy that causes drastic change. Not the characteristics of us, but the energetic energy field that when we travel, we're not in the same velocity. We're not in what I want to say, gravity. There's no gravity. Gravity, you age. If you are connected to gravity, you age, and if you're not, you age slower. It's just a different way of looking at things and wondering like how, if when you see certain movies, or if an Enoch, for an example, when I was doing some research on that, and Enoch told his family that he was coming back down to come back to earth, but when he came back, everyone has already passed on, and it has already left. So he was coming, but he did not come until, when in their time frame, until everybody was pretty much decimated from the energy. But when he came back, he was still in his normal physiology, physical being self, with aging minimally, if that make any sense. So guys, I'm gonna end this, and you guys let me know what you think. And that may be, and you know what, with that being said, just like when Jesus said he coming back, okay? Think of the relativity in that way too. Makes perfect sense to me. All right. Like Tupac say, I'm coming back. I'm coming. All right. I see you guys. Our time is not the same as the universe time, is what I'm getting at today, guys. I hope that makes sense. 1144 on the screen when I said this. Let's get it. Peace. And I do welcome you guys' input on this. Talk to you later. Bye.